people, welcome to Pilates Foundations on the Mat. This video is so important regardless if you're new, seasoned Pilates practitioner, or just looking to tune back into your foundations. So important to really strengthen the muscles that we're looking to activate during certain exercises. I'll go into a little bit deeper of an explanation here through these exercises on the mat. Considered a great video for first starting out, but also for really just coming back into your body. Sometimes we lose our control, our focus once we just get into the choreography. So let's do this. We're just going to use the mat, nothing else here, just you, yourself, and I, and we will get started lying down. So once you're lying down, we're just going to start with our breath. You can rest your feet however they naturally fall. I like my knees bent here, but it's totally fine, up to you. We're finding our neutral spine. So what that means is you've got a little curve in the low back. It's up away from the mat as opposed to pressed down. So think if you were to look at a picture of a skeleton, their low back would be curved in. So same sensation here. Your tailbone is nice and heavy on the mat. You're trying to close your rib cage here because we're going to breathe into the rib cage. You'll breathe in through the nose. Can you feel your ribs expand side to side, but also back into the mat? You're going to exhale through pursed lips like you're whistling. And you feel everything kind of shrink wrap in your center. So you'll inhale through the nose to expand the lungs, and then exhale to blow out all that air. Pursed lips, the muscles that support your spine are going to light up. Deep down there, you might not even feel them working quite yet. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. So finding your nice deep Pilates breath. I'll constantly remind you of the breath throughout your classes. We're going to take this into what we call a pelvic rock. So you'll inhale through the nose, keep this curve in the low back. As you exhale through the mouth, can you draw your belly button in towards your spine? So much so that your low back presses flat into the mat. You've lost that curve. You're not gripping onto the core, puffing your belly up towards the sky, but rather drawing your belly button in as if you were trying to wear a corset, shrinking everything together. You'll just breathe in to arch back to neutral, and then breathe out to drop the back of the belly button down. Now, while you're here, the tendency might be to grip on to your glutes and your neck. You're going to try to keep those muscles as relaxed as you possibly can, making this move occur from the deepest layers of your pelvic floor. Exhaling to pull down. This is what we call imprint. Inhaling to arch. This is what we call neutral. So two different positions of the spine. You use them for different purposes. I'll always remind you. Next time your belly button is down, can you hold your belly button down? Now, without moving, I just want you to notice your tailbone is kind of up towards the sky. So it's kind of curled between the knees like a little shy puppy dog. You're going to send your sits bones closer together. So what that means is you're activating your seat, your glutes. You're going to lift just your tailbone, your low back, up off the mat. Turn on your inner thighs. Make sure your knees aren't winging out towards the side. And then you're just going to set the tailbone back down and arch your spine back to neutral. We're going to make this larger and larger until we pick up into a full bridge. So exhale, imprint the spine, pull the belly button down. Scoop the core, squeeze the glutes. You're going to lift the tailbone, the low back up towards that mid back this time. And then place the mid back, low back, tailbone down in the opposite order, arching back to your neutral at the bottom. Exhale, scoop the core, belly button down, turn on your seat, peel up and away until you're on the bottoms of those shoulders, and then place it down, opposite direction, like you're putting Velcro back in its place. This time we're lifting to our full bridge. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, pull the belly button down. Turn on the seat. Inner thighs, don't forget, start to pick up one bone at a time from the mat. You're going to land on the bottom of those shoulder blades. So notice my heart is still tracking down. I'm not lifting it up toward my chin. There's nice space between my chin and my chest, and I'm pressing down with the backs of my arms. My glutes and my backs and my thighs are remaining on to support me here, and I'm stretching the front surface of my body, hips over my knees as much as I can. You're going to take a breath in here, and then on the breath out, you're going to put the spine back down. Start with the heart. One bone at a time is going to reconnect. Give each and every bone its time. Try to stretch the spine, tailbone closer to the heels, and then set the tailbone down, relaxing to arch the back to neutral. One more of those. Big inhale. Exhale, pull the belly button down, turn on the seat. Start to peel away from the mat, one bone at a time. So much so that you reach the hips out over the knees. You're creating blood flow towards the upper body there. You're in a little bit of an inversion. You're going to take a big inhale. And then exhale, drop it down. One bone at a time. Stretch, stretch, stretch. More space between the vertebrae as you connect. Finally, bringing the seat down and relaxing into your neutral spine. Gorgeous. Going to come back to that in a little bit. What I want you to do is connect your knees and your feet here. So feet and knees connected. Arms, they're resting by your sides. Big inhale, prepare. Exhale, pull the belly button down, imprint the spine. You're going to try to keep your spine imprinted, and we're going to find tabletop with the legs. What that means is your knee is about right over your hip, and your shin is about parallel to the ground. Both legs, once they're at tabletop, inner thighs glued together, you're going to pull your belly button down and try to keep that scoop in your core. The whole time, we're going to drop the right foot down for what's called toe taps. Your whole leg is moving, so keep this 90-degree bend. Your leg moves away from you until the toe taps the ground, and then you breathe in, pick it back up. So notice, I'm not just dropping the low half of my leg, I'm moving my thigh in my hip and scooping the core. Work hard to keep the back of the belly button pressing down towards the mat this whole time. The opposite side of your abdominals do the work as the leg moves away from you. Find your core, find your center here as much as you can. Working those obliques and the hips. Scooping here for 2 more sets. 2 more on each side. And then 1 more set. After that last one, you're dropping both feet right back down to the mat. You're going to find neutral once you're here. Keep the feet and knees together. We're going to do a similar toe tap, but we're going to do that toe tap in our bridge. So when you're ready, press down with the backs of the arms. Take a breath in. On the breath out, pull the belly button down. Turn on your seat and peel the hips up and away, 1 bone at a time until they're lifted. Both glutes gotta stay on here to keep the hips level. You're gonna lift the right leg up towards tabletop. All that work comes into the left side. Lower the right foot down, and then pick the left leg up to tabletop and lower it down. You're trying to keep the same amount of space between your ribs and your hips on both sides. You're also trying to keep both hips lifted at the same height. So don't let your hip drop just because that knee is coming up. Working on stability here. We're just doing 1 more on each side. You got this. Belly button to spine. Both feet ground, big inhale. Hips reach 1 inch higher. Exhale, start with the heart. Melt the spine down 1 bone at a time. Scoop the pubic bone up towards the ceiling. And then finally, that seat settles into a nice neutral spine. Once you're anchored in your tailbone here, then have you reach your arms straight up towards the ceiling. You're going to turn your palms to face towards one another here. So palms are facing towards one another. Arms, fingers, and knees are facing up towards the ceiling. You're going to keep your spine in a neutral. Take an inhale. Open the knees and the arms out wide towards the side. You're coming into a diamond shape with those legs, and then the arms are like a big T. Still in neutral, you're going to exhale, to bring the knees and the fingertips straight back up towards the sky. Inhale to open. Try to stay relaxed in the glutes and the shoulders. Exhale to close. Both your hips might move a little bit differently here. That's okay. Listening to your body. You're keeping that internal core set on, so your muscle control is in your center, your core, and you're able to open the knees and the arms, maintaining a neutral spine. Feeling nice and free as the knees and the arms open, as opposed to gripping is your goal. We'll do 3 more like this. Breathe in through it. 2 more. Breathe in to open, out to close, and then just 1 more. In to open, out to close. I'm going to rest my arms back down by my sides. This time in this next exercise, you're going to keep your low back neutral, but you're going to curl the upper part of your spine. So listen carefully. We're trying to differentiate between the upper part of our spine and the lower part of our spine. Your fingertips are going to reach towards your heels. They're floating a little bit off the mat. Take a big breath in. On the breath out, you're going to nod your chin like you're trying to grab an apple between your chin and your chest. You're then going to lift the head, neck, and shoulders up so that you're looking just between the thighs. Notice here, have you lost the curve in your low back, or are you still in neutral? Reaching with the fingertips helps keep the neck relaxed, helps keep the shoulders out of the ears. You're going to put the shoulders down first. Keep that apple between your chin and your chest. As you roll down, the hands are going to go all the way back behind the head, so you're reaching long. We're going to add the arms this time. We'll start slow. Hands travel straight up towards the ceiling. Once they hit the ceiling, that's when you're going to nod the chin towards your chest. The arms are going to travel right down by the sides. As the chest lifts, you look between those legs. So imagine you're moving in one piece. The head can't lift without the arms lowering. And now the head can't lower without the arms lifting. You reach all the way back behind you as you breathe in. Exhale, hands go up, curl, and reach. And then inhale, hands travel right back overhead. Exhale, curl it up and reach. And then inhale to lower back down. We'll do 3 more of these. Using those arms, lift that chest, lowering 1 bone at a time. Shoulders stay away from the ears, gaining a little momentum because we've got those arms. Last one, curl it up. You're going to hold it up. Your spine is neutral. While you're here, can you imprint? Pull the belly button down. Keep the head up. Can 1 leg at a time go to that tabletop? Knees right over the hips, shins about parallel to the ground. Can you keep the lower body how it is? You're going to lower the shoulders, neck, head down, and reach the hands back behind you. Same abdominal curl with the legs at tabletop. Exhale, hands go up, curl, look between those thighs. And then inhale, lower back down. This time you're working hard to keep the low back pressing down into the mat. Because your legs are lifted, this is going to help you support your low back here. So legs lifted, they're heavy. We want to help the low back support. So we press our belly button down, imprinting the spine. Just give me 2 more of these. Breathing out to lift. On the last one, you're going to hold your chest lifted. You're going to start to pump your arms up and down pretty small, activating the core for your 100. We're waking up the cardiovascular system. If the blood wasn't flowing, the heart wasn't pumping, it sure is going to now. You're going to breathe in for 5 pumps. You're going to breathe out for 5 pumps. So inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. In theory, we do 100 of these pumps to really get that core working hard, pulling the belly button down towards the spine. Your head, neck, and chest remains lifted. Now, if you feel good here, you're going to straighten those legs long towards the opposite side of the room at an angle. You're going to notice with those legs straight, it's a whole lot harder to work the core. You can always keep the knees bent on your Pilates 100. We're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug those knees in towards the chest and lower your head all the way down. Relax the neck, relax the shoulders. We're going to do a little stretch here, wringing out the spine like a wet rag. You'll send both arms out towards the side like a T. This time your palms are just connected to the floor. And then your feet are going to rest down on the mat. Inner thighs are connected. Both your knees are going to twist over towards the right, and you'll look over the left shoulder. This is going to help keep your shoulders down. Only twist the knees as far as you can keep the inner thighs connected so that this comes from the spine and not the legs. Take a breath in here. Feel more space from that right hip to that left rib. And then exhale to swing those knees on over to the left. Send your gaze over to the right. Breathe in, feel more space from that left hip to that right rib. And then breathe out to twist on over to the other side. So imagine like you're wringing it on a wet rag. You wring it out in two directions. That's the same concept here, taking out any tension that may have built up in your core, in your center. You can move as slow or as fast as you want to on this spine twist. It's up to you. Sometimes it feels nice just to hold that one shape. We're going to go one more time in each direction. Breathe in through it. Belly button to spine. Exhale to swing it up and over. Twisting, twisting. And then you're going to roll all the way over to one side and just press yourself up so that you can come sitting up nice and tall. Once you're sitting, I'm going to face towards the side, but you can face towards the screen if you want to. I just want you to be able to see what's happening in this next exercise. You're going to open your legs wider than your hips here. Legs wider than the hips, feet are flexed. In order to sit up tall, you might need to bend the knees. So notice it's hard to keep the legs straight and sit up tall. Might not feel great for your low back if your hamstrings are tight. Little bend in the knees is totally fine. Sitting up as tall as you can here. Those feet are wider than the hips, and you're going to reach the arms straight out in front of you like Frankenstein here. So this exercise is called spine stretch forward. You almost want to imagine someone's like tossing a basketball in towards your belly. You're going to round your spine forward, looking at the mat between the legs. Try to keep your hands parallel to the floor, but you're pulling your belly button back towards the opposite side of the room as you reach the hands forward. So it's like someone's pulling your hands forward in front of you, but pulling your belly button back. You'll then restack the spine, one bone at a time, coming up nice and tall. Inhale here. Exhale, round forward, reach forward, pull the belly button back. And then inhale to sit up nice and tall. Exhale, round forward, reach forward. Inhale, restack the spine. We'll do 3 more here. Exhale, ribs and hips connect, pull the belly button back. Inhale to restack. Exhale, round it forward, reach. Inhale to restack, one bone at a time. One more here, round forward, reach forward. And then you'll restack the spine, one bone at a time, sitting up tall and relaxing the arms by your side. You want to cross the legs here. So as close to a cross leg position as feels okay for you. If you need to move the feet in front of you a little bit to feel okay in this position, please do so. Be my guest. We're just going to work some different positions of the spine here, explaining what those mean. Your hands are going to go behind the nape of your neck, and your elbows are out super wide. So what you just did, that spine stretch forward, that's what we call flexion. So we're going to do that same thing, similar motion here. You're going to nod the chin towards the chest, and you're going to start to round your spine forward. The belly button is going to pull up between the ribs here, and then you'll just restack the spine one bone at a time. So flexion, nodding the chin. Don't press down on the head. Use your core. Head drops with gravity. Belly button goes up towards the ceiling. And then restack one bone at a time. Good. You'll exhale, nod the chin, curl down. This time you're going to move past the straight spine. You'll restack one bone at a time and then start to drop the head back, open up the chest, little back bend. This is what we call extension of the spine. Very important if we sit, drive a lot, opening up the front of the body like this. Really let this feel good. And then you're going to nod the chin, come back into that flexion, one bone at a time drops down. Restack, start with the mid back, one bone at a time. Move past neutral and look up, extension. Two more like this. Nodding the chin, rounding forward with gravity. Inhaling to restack. Open up the heart, little baby back bend. One more here, nod the chin, roll it down. Belly button pulls up through the ribs. And then restack the spine with control. Looking up towards the sky, extension. And then bringing yourself back to neutral. Good. Keep the hands here. You're going to grow as tall as you possibly can. We're going to do what's called a lateral flexion. You're going to keep both your hips nice and grounded. You're going to tip the right elbow down towards the right side of the mat. It's, of course, not going to meet the mat. You'll grow tall. And then tip on over towards the left. So it's like you're moving between two panes of glass. Imagine you don't want to tap that glass in front of you or behind you. You're feeling your rib cage move up and then connecting one rib and hip as the other one stretches. Feeling your rib cage lift up and then connecting the other rib and hip. Good. We'll do one more set here. Side to side. And then lift up nice and tall, pause. This time we're going to rotate. You're going to rotate your heart over to the right. Only as far as both your hips stay down. It might be pretty small. You're going to inhale, come back to center. And exhale, rotate over towards the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. You're working your internal and external obliques. There's work in both directions. Grow even taller as you twist. Beautiful. We'll do one more in each direction here. Inhale, center. Last one. Inhale, center. You can relax those arms down. Gorgeous. Going to work a little bit more core here. Lowest, deepest surface of that core. You're going to turn to face one side. Stay sitting. You want space behind you on your mat. So you're sitting towards facing that one side. Your knees are bent. Your feet are grounded. Don't feel like you have to crunch your knees all the way up into you here. Just out in front of you is fine. You really want to sit up on your sits bones when you're here. And you can just stay square in the hips and the shoulders. Reaching the arms straight out in front of you like we did earlier. But instead of rounding the spine forward, we're going to lean back in this next set of exercises, starting with our half roll back. So similar to your pelvic rock, just seated this time. You're going to take a big inhale. You're nice and tall. On the exhale, can you flatten the curve in your low back, trying to tuck your tailbone up under between those knees. You're going to lean back until you land about where the back pockets would be on your jeans. Feel your core light up. You're pulling that belly button back in towards your spine. And then you're just going to sit up nice and tall, rolling back up onto your sits bones. Exhale, flatten the curve in the low back. Pull the ribs up towards the hips. Exhale, and then inhale, sit up nice and tall. So you're just rolling back, rounding back, making this kind of J shape in your spine, and then you'll sit back up nice and tall with your breath in. So working the core from the lowest part up this time, as opposed to the opposite, like you did in your ab curl. Finding that strength in your center here. We're going to do two more like this. On the last one, you're going to hold yourself in the back position. Activating ribs and hips. Don't let those go. You're going to breathe in. Exhale, reach the hands up towards the sky. Only as high as you can keep the ribs and hips glued together. And then inhale, drop those hands back down. Exhale to lift the hands, ribs and hips stay locked. You might feel them start to shake. And then inhale, lower down with control. We're gonna do 3 more of those. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Keep the ribs and the hips together, belly button in towards the spine. We'll do 1 more here. Lift it up nice and high. Hold. Lower the arms down and sit up nice and tall at the top. Beautiful. We're gonna keep our arms reaching straight out. This time we're gonna lean back, flat back. So instead of curving the low back, you're gonna try to keep yourself in neutral. More challenging to support with your low back, you probably won't lean as far. You're gonna lean back, keep yourself neutral, gaze out in front of you, and then come back up. So just make sure you're not dropping your gaze towards the ceiling. Lean straight back and come back up. We'll do 3 of these. Lean straight back. Inhale, return. And then on your last one, you're going to keep this lean straight back. You're going to take your right elbow and bend it. Look over your right shoulder, little twist. Come back to center. Same thing on the left side, little twist. So you're in this angle, leaning back as you twist from side to side. You're trying to keep your hips totally still and just rotate from the heart region of your torso. We're going to do 2 more sets of this. Really find that angle, that twist in the obliques. Keeping your belly button, drawing in internal core set. And then after your last one here, you can sit back up nice and tall, relax the arms, give the shoulders a little roll back. I'm going to have you swing the legs all the way around so that you're lying on your belly here. Sometimes we'll refer to this as prone position, so lying on your belly prone. You're going to have the hands right about underneath your shoulders and your elbows are bent up towards the sky. Now your legs are going to stay relaxed here for this first exercise. Turning out the toes towards the side will just help you keep them relaxed. You're going to draw your belly button up towards the spine. Press the pubic bone as heavy as you can down into the mat. You're going to lift your head up and think reaching your neck longer, so more space between your ears and your shoulders. You're going to press into the hands, and then you'll just lift the heart up a tad, activating your core. Same extension of the spine we did earlier. You'll lower down starting with the chest, then the neck, and finally the head. The head will lift up. 1 bone at a time, the chest lifts up, and then lower back down, opposite direction. Try to lift a little higher with each repetition. The goal is length in the spine as opposed to height, so you don't have to press yourself up super high. You want to feel length in the neck area in the spine. We'll do 1 more of these. Think like you're sending your heart out through your shoulders. You'll lower all the way down and then reach the legs and arms both long in opposite directions here. So both my toes are reaching towards the back of the room. Both my hands are reaching towards the front of the room. You're still activating your core. You're going to take an inhale. And then on the exhale, you're going to hover your legs and your arms 1 inch off the mat. Can you reach your legs and your arms even further? Take an inhale and then exhale, lower back down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, lift. Inhale, stretch. And then exhale, lower down. 1 more time. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift. Inhale, stretch. And then lower back down. Beautiful. We're going to do something similar. It's just 1 at a time. Your right hand and your left leg are going to lift. They'll lower down, and you'll just switch sides. So alternating. Opposite arm, opposite leg, lifting up and down. You're trying to keep your torso totally still here. Your belly button is pulling up away from the mat below you as you switch from side to side. Beautiful. We're going to do 4 more of these. Breathing through it. Find that length as opposed to height. 2 more sets. And then last one here. You can relax. We're going to bend the elbows like you did before, but this time you're going to prop yourself up on your forearms. So you're pressing into your whole forearm to lift your chest into that extension. You're gonna hold on one fist, wrapping your other hand around that fist. So you created this little prop for yourself to stay in extension. You're pulling the belly button towards the spine, and you're bringing the shoulders down away from the ears. All you're gonna do here is bend the right leg until you're kicking the seat, and you're gonna pulse and then straighten it down. So you go kick, pulse, straighten, alternating sides. Kick, pulse, straighten. Find your core, your support. Your hamstring is working here, back of the thigh. Try to pull it in with control. Working to keep your upper body totally still. This next one, you're gonna flex the foot as you kick. So try to kick the heel towards the seat, pulse, and then lower down. Flex, pulse, lower down. Using the heel, you're gonna find more back of the thigh, but it might be harder for you to stabilize in that upper body. Beautiful, classical Pilates exercise here. Hanging onto that core is also great for your posture. We're gonna do 2 more sets of this. Breathing through it, you got this. Last set here. And then you'll relax both those legs down. You're gonna bring your hands to the mat here. Once your hands are on the mat, can you just press yourself up to all fours? So knees right under the hips, and then wrists about under the shoulders. Just make sure they're under the shoulders, not super wide. You wanna find support in your upper body here. As much of a neutral spine as you can. So remember that natural little arc in the low back. You wanna find that. You don't wanna over exaggerate the arc, but you also don't wanna flatten the curve of the low back. So keep it nice and natural here. Use the breath to turn on that internal core set. We're gonna work a little bit of core. So your goal is gonna be not to shift the weight in this next set of exercises. You're gonna try to lift the right arm up away from the mat alongside your ear and try to keep yourself totally steady and stable. You'll just place that right hand back down and do the same thing on the left side. So reaching yourself nice and long, and then lowering down. Find the work, the support in your shoulders, but also in the knees, the hips, and the core to stay totally square against that mat. Working hard to keep that spine neutral. Exhale as you reach the arm long, and then inhale to place it back down. That's gonna help you. We're gonna do 2 more sets here. Try to keep the weight of the hips right over those knees. We're gonna do 1 more set with the arms. And then both hands will come back down. We're gonna do the same thing we just did, but we're gonna do it with the legs. It's gonna be harder not to shift the weight. So the right leg is gonna reach long back behind you, about the height of your hip. Notice that your weight is gonna wanna dump into that left side. So really try to keep yourself nice and square here. As if you're balancing a teacup there on your tailbone. You're gonna bend the right knee and just place it back down under your hip. Left leg, it's reaching long. Inhale to lower down, so same breath pattern. Exhale, reach long. Inhale to return. Notice that you might be able to keep your weight square, easier on one side versus the other. So one side of your body is typically a little bit more connected than the other. Just taking inventory of those things is going to help you develop that mind-body connection that we're always talking about in Pilates. We'll just do 1 more on each side. Exhale, reach, inhale, place down. Then you're going to reach the right leg back and you're going to hold the right leg back. You'll flex the right toe and then drop that straight leg down until your toe connects to the mat. Once your toe is connected to the mat, you're going to swing your left foot towards the left back edge of your mat and start to take your right hand up away from the ground. You're going to turn your torso to face towards me, towards the screen, and reach the right hand straight up towards the sky. Notice that I've pivoted on the right foot, so my arch of my foot is down. It's stabilizing me. I'm in a version of a side plank here. So what I want you to do is just hold this position and try to bring your bottom shoulder down away from your ear. Try to relax your neck as much as you can. And then pull your belly button in towards your spine for support. You're going to try to float that right leg up off the ground about an inch, and we'll just hold here for 4. For 3, working on balance. For 2. And for 1, you're going to place that right foot down first. You'll start to pivot, squaring yourself back off to the mat. Swing the left foot back straight in line with the mat, and then send that right knee in. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you'll just lift the left knee straight back behind you, hip height. You'll flex the foot and drop the toe down until it connects to the mat below you. You'll start to pivot that right foot towards the back edge of the mat as you peel the left hand up and away towards the sky. I'm now resting on the inside arch of my left foot for balance. I'm finding the support underneath my right side body. And I'm going to gently hover that left foot off the ground about an inch. Find what works for you. We're balancing, holding here for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Your foot's coming down first. You're squaring yourself up, bringing the hand back underneath you, pivoting both legs to face that one direction, and then bringing both knees in. Once you're back on all 4s here, you're just going to press back, take a little stretch. The weight's going to come out of the wrists, and your seat's going to go back towards those heels. Feel as long as you can in the spine. And then just slowly, you're going to swing the weight over to one hip. Land in a seated position with both your legs just reaching out in front of you. Again, if you need to bend the knees a little bit, please bend the knees a little bit. Your legs are pretty much connected now in this position. We're going to do a version of our Pilates mermaid. Your arms will go to a T, and you'll just sit up nice and tall here. You're going to tip over towards the right until that right hand lands on the mat. You'll reach the left hand all the way up overhead, but keep that left hip anchored to the ground. So notice a nice stretch from the hip, out the ribs, out the fingertip, and then you'll pull your belly button towards your spine and lift yourself back up to that T. So it's like you're moving between those 2 panes of glass again, tipping over towards the left, reaching the right hand up overhead. You might turn the palm to face down towards the ground. Feel that nice stretch. And then lift back up, use the obliques. So you're just tipping from one side to the other. It's with control. It's as large or as small as you need to make it for your body. Breathe in as you tip over and out as you lift back up. It's just going to help you find more space between the ribs, more space for those lungs to fully expand. Keeping those hips anchored is your goal, trying to work on flexibility in your spine. We'll do 1 more in each direction here. Good. Last one. Coming back to that T. And then relaxing my arms down. Give those shoulders a roll back for 4, for 3, for 2. And after your last one here, I am going to swing my legs around, coming onto my knees. So once you're on your knees, you just want to be high up on those knees, finding a vertical spine. Squeeze the glutes, and then think about your inner thighs drawing towards one another. It's going to help you stay supported and lift your posture up nice and tall. 1 more little upper body series for you, and then we're all done for the day. First, we're just going to stretch out our neck, release any tension that might have built up there. Reach one arm straight up towards the sky, up over the head for the opposite ear, and then just let gravity take your head over towards your shoulder. Find that nice length here, keeping the low body on for support, for balance. Make sure you're just letting gravity take you as opposed to yanking yourself down towards the side. Breathe your breath into the side of your neck here, feeling it open up. 1 more inhale. Exhale, you'll unwind. Same thing on the other side. Reach that hand up and over, tap the ear, and then stretch. One side might be a little bit more tense than the other side, completely normal. Find that leg driving your free fingertips down towards your mat. Let gravity take you into the stretch. And take 2 more breaths, sending your fresh oxygen there into your neck. Last breath. You'll unwind and we'll reach both arms straight out towards the side like a T. You really want to think both directions long here, bringing the fingertips all the way together, creating tension, almost as if you're moving in a body of water here. You're going to circle the arms towards the back. Small, teeny circles here to start. Find that support in your shoulders. It's like you're moving through a body of water, so there's tension there. You're going to start to make your circle larger. You're only making the circle as large as you can keep your torso nice and firm. So notice if the rib cage is starting to move and find that connection in your internal core set to keep that torso nice and still. We're going to do 4 more in this direction. And then after your last one, you're just going to reverse directions. So circling towards the front this time. You might have more stability in your chest and your torso. Reaching those arms long. You feel them starting to burn pretty quick. Necks relax. That's why we stretch it out. Shoulders are away from the ears. We're here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can rest those arms down by your side. You're going to hinge your torso forward just a tad, and you're going to send your seat back so it's floating about 1 inch up off those heels. You're using your thighs and your core to stay in this little hinged forward position. And I'm going to reach my hands straight back behind me, turning my palms to face up towards the sky. Keep your core on here. Look out in front of you, nice long neck. You're going to lift the hands up 1 inch, down 1 inch, up 1 inch, down 1 inch. So same tension here in those fingertips. Opening up your chest, you feel the triceps engage. Small range of motion here, but pretty powerful move. Your muscle is smaller, so it fatigues quicker. You feel the burn deeper. We're going to do 3 like this. Hang on to your core. You're going to hold those hands up, and you're just going to bring them in towards one another, and then open them back out. Thumbs towards one another, open them back out. Keep the arms as straight as you can here, reaching them long as they come in. Exhale as they come in. We're here for 5. We're here for 4. Last 3, hang on to your core. Last 2, hold them in on 1 and breathe for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1, you can relax, sitting all the way back on those heels. You're going to take your hands and just clasp them back behind you. You're going to try to press the palms together, opening up the heart as much as you possibly can here. So just stretching the chest, finding a nice long neck. If it's okay for you, heart up towards the sky, little gaze up towards the sky, teeny extension. You'll breathe here, taking as much tension as you can out of your body. 2 more big breaths. In through the nose, ribcage expands. Blow it out through the mouth. And then 1 more here. You can unclasp those hands and give yourself a hand. That was amazing. Nice hard work tuning into the purpose of our movements. So important for us throughout Pilates. I can't wait to see you next time on the mat.